all of your favorite R&B hits.
Jams from back in the day and a little something to keep your head nodding.
This
is Cafe Mocha. Cafe Mocha celebrating Father's Day with some of our favorite dads like Kenny Laittmore, Johnny Gill, Ice Cube. It's all coming up on Cafe Mocha. Cafe Mocha celebrating Father's Day this weekend. We've got Ice Cube on the line. Now, who's been the champion in your corner?
I gotta say my family. You know, my wife is a big part of that. My pops is still around, so, I had an advantage of having a strong male figure to look up to. These kind of things help to shape and forge, who I am today.
Now, speaking of dad, what kind of dad are you? My dad was the let's wrestle, let's watch football, and mom was the meanie. What's your house like?
Hey, it's firm, but it's fair.
Okay.
It's really, it's all about if you do the things that you're supposed to do, I give you all the leeway in the world.
Okay.
It's when you don't do what you're supposed to do is when I start to clamp down. So, my kids know me. My kids are grown now, so they ain't really got to worry about me. They just get in their car and leave. But
what is grown, though? Because we never get
25, 21. I got a daughter, 18, and my youngest is 11, so... they do their own thing. They ain't got to deal with me too much.
More with Ice Cube coming up as we celebrate Father's Day right here on Cafe Mocha. It's Cafe Mocha. We're talking to some of our favorite celebrity dads. I've got Ice Cube on the line. There's this whole thing where every kid wants to be a rapper or a basketball player. What do you think about parents downplaying or discouraging entertainers?
Yeah, I think parents hear a lot of bad stuff about entertainers, every day. But, with all the bad things you hear, 90% of the entertainers are doing the right thing, you know what I'm saying? So, you got a few bad apples in the bunch. To me, if you got a kid that's ultra creative, it's only right to see how far he can go with it and to see, if the world accepts his talent. And you never know how far music can take you and the things that music can open up to you in this world that leads to other things. You can still go to school. I didn't drop out of school to do music. It ain't about picking either or. It's about doing it all.
It's Cafe Mocha. That was Ice Cube. On the way, Kenny Laittmore on Cafe Mocha.
Now that is what I'm talking about. This is Robin Thicke with my ladies MC Light, Angelique, and Lonnie Love on Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha. I'm MC Light.
I'm Angelique. Lonnie is on the road. On the line with us is somebody that you know and love for years, Kenny Laittmore.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey.
Thanks for having me. This is amazing. Just for me to even be able to have this platform to really talk about saving our sons, I think it's a very powerful subject.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you're daddy.
I'm a daddy, yeah. And it is quite a job.
What do you love most about it?
I used to look at my son, and it would, at each stage of his life, I would look at him and I would say, what was I thinking when I was his age?
Oh, okay.
I think his decision-making and his development is fascinating to me. Let alone that he looks like me and all of that. All that's like that miracle thing that God does with DNA and all that. You sit there and you look and you're like, oh my God, it's a little me. What is that? But the other part of it is, for me, again, is the fascination about, okay, son, I want you to go over here and I want you to sit down for a minute. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And then watching the decisions he makes, whether it's
I don't want to do that.
He moves, how what he chooses to throw out.
Right.
it's interesting. And then I give him a tremendous amount of mercy because I try to remember what I was like at his age.
That's right.
And when I think about the decisions I made, I was like, okay, I can't even be too mad.
More with Kenny Laittmore coming up on a Father's Day weekend right here on Cafe Mocha.
Baby, I love
Cafe Mocha celebrating Father's Day with some of our favorite dads. And, you know, it's never too late. If you're an absentee father, never too late to pick up that phone. Do it.
Don't you go anywhere.
It's Cafe Mocha. We're celebrating Daddy's Got More with Kenny Laittmore coming up. Plus Johnny Gill, the Espresso's on the way. And don't forget your favorite part of the show, the Light Mix. We're celebrating Father's Day with some of our favorite dads. We've got Kenny Laittmore on the line. Now, how do you handle things at home as a dad?
You know, I tell him things like, this is the year of academic excellence.
Okay.
You cannot do what you did last year. I try to give him progressive marks in his life so that we look back and we go, yeah, you did excellent in first grade, or you did this in second grade, now you're in fourth grade. The key is to push responsibility into him, or you know, something that's going to allow him to really think about his motivation and morals and you know, great decision making. I think that is the biggest deal.
Right.
So I tell him all the time, I am going to raise you to be a decision maker. I don't care what it is. When we sit in the car, I'll never forget, for a while he was raised where it was Radio Disney all the time. So it's choices, everything, to the music, the movies, the TV. So then he jumps in the car one day and he goes, oh, I want to listen to Power 106, which, you know, for those I know you're all over the place, that's the major hip-hop station in L.A. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to turn it off, although you're 9. I said, we're going to listen to this, but we're going to listen to it together.
Right.
I'm going to let you know that I'm not going to jump up and down and try to force him into anything except to force him into being a decision maker.
Right.
So we sit there and we listen to a couple songs go by, and we're like, hey, okay. And then something inappropriate happens.
Right.
And when anything comes on that's inappropriate, whether it's TV or movies, anything, he'll turn around, he'll look at me, you know, and I'll look at him, and I go, wow, okay, so what do you think we should do? And he'll go and he'll change the station, and he'll change back a little later on. He'll say, oh, this isn't for me. And it just makes him conscious. I want him to be awake.
Right.
So that people are not saying crazy stuff to him and putting stuff into his spirit, and then he doesn't even know where it came from.
Got you. That's amazing. We are talking to Kenny Laittmore. More coming up on Cafe Mocha. We're celebrating Father's Day this weekend with some of our favorite celebrity dads. More on the way.
Go digital with Cafe Mocha. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Download our custom app and always log on to cafemocharadio.com.
It's Cafe Mocha, and as you know, Johnny Gill's a big friend of the show. He stopped by and shared his influence that his dad and his brothers had on his career. Ouch.
Listen to him sing like a grown man.
Wait a minute, how'd you learn to sing like that, though? Who were you listening to?
My daddy was whipping my ass every night.
Whoa.
No, my dad was like a little miniature Joe Jackson. I have 4 brothers.
A miniature Joe Jackson?
Yes,
I thought Joe was as tiny as he could get.
I have 4 brothers, and we used to rehearse every single night, sometimes to like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and had to go to school, be up to go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
And, you know, my dad was a minister, so it was like we had to sing and rehearse and sing and rehearse. And I'm the youngest, so my brothers used to just punk me around. You know, it was like they pushed me out front because I couldn't beat none of them, so they was always pushing me out front to make me do all the songs because my dad would work us hard.
Okay.
So now I'm looking back and I'm going, hi.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's Cafe Mocha Espresso time. I'm Angelique. Congrats to Serena Williams for winning the French Open for the first time in 11 years.
And 11 years ago, I didn't think I would still be playing. So that's really true? Well, yeah, I never thought I would play, past, 28 or something. But hey, I'm still here.
Jury selection in the Trayvon Martin murder began this week. His mom discusses her struggles.
I was upset because Trayvon was a teenager. And We're talking about somebody that had just turned 17 3 weeks before his death. And we're talking about a 28-year-old adult that was following or pursuing him.
It's Father's Day weekend, a great time to reconnect with your kids.
I sure wish I had a father who was not only present, but involved. Didn't know my dad. And so my whole life, I've tried to be for Michelle and my girls what my father was not for my mother and me. I want to break that cycle.
That's your Cafe Mocha Espresso, brought to you by the 2013 Essence Festival, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm Angelique. It's time for our favorite part of the show, the Light Mix with MC Light. All right, Lonnie, you ready to get your dance on? It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast.
It's Cafe Mocha, 3 distinct flavors, 1 experience. This is DJ MC Light, at least for now, I am. As I take you back on this voyage, bringing you some music that makes you feel it in your spirit, way deep down in your soul. It's Teddy Pendergrass. Tell me who knows what I'm talking about.
So good, loving somebody and somebody wants you back.
It's Cafe Mocha, 3 distinct flavors. DJ MC Light giving it to you. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Download the app. It's called Cafe Mocha Radio, and it is free. Here we go. Come on.
When I wake up in the morning, love the day.
It's happening right here, DJ MC Light. Make sure to check out the site, cafemocharadio.com. Come on! Woo! This is what the weekend is all about. Coming to you live, it's the Light Mix, Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha. On the 1s and 2s, it's DJ MC Light. This song right here, I remember a couple years ago, I saw DJ D-Nice play this in a club. I think it was the inaugural celebration down in D.C., and I just caught the fever. And now whenever I want to get in the mood for some real music, it's just us, 2 tons of fun. Cafe Mocha. It's Cafe Mocha. This is what we call the slowdown right here. Cafe Mocha Radio. We know what to do with y'all's. Here we go now. Yeah. Make sure to download the app. It's called Cafe Mocha. It's for free. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. What can I say? We're just making it happen. It's worldwide. Here we go. The Light Mix. Cafe Mocha Radio. Woo!
Every time I move, I lose.
It's Cafe Mocha. 3 distinct flavors, 1 experience. Your girl MC Light, right in the middle of the Light Mix. Got Angelique and Lonnie Love on standby, just waiting for me to be finished. But it's all good. We're rocking right now. We like how this feels. We're going way back in the crates. This is how we do. Come on.
Some days the blues was our parade.
Wrapping up the show with the Light Mix, brought to you by Comcast. Want to salute all the good daddies out there. And of course, the 3 of us, we were raised by our moms. So big shout outs to the moms, the grandparents, all the relatives out there holding it down. And of course, for all of the dads who aren't with us. It's Cafe Mocha. We'll see you next weekend. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in association with Cumulus Media Networks. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. Writer and producer Angelique Perrin. For comments and more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.